What's going on, everyone? Bankrupt here, and once again, we're gonna kind of go over what isn't really an update video, but more or less just talk about Fusion Worlds. We're getting more and more information on the game every day, and it's just something to talk about. So I kind of want to cover it to some degree. And like always, Masters isn't going anywhere. This is still primarily a Masters channel, but if more people from our locals will pick the Fusion Worlds up, then we'll probably start showcasing more and more stuff of it as well and kind of doing a blend between the two games. And like always, just buttons, links, check them out. They're down below. Let's just kind of get into the leaders. I know this is a little bit late by the time this video comes out. A lot of people have already covered it, but kind of want to talk about it as well. And we're going to start with, not the starter decks, but just going straight to the set leaders. We have the Sun Goku, which there are two different types of leaders in this game. There are the leaders that will either draw you a card or leaders that will crit. And this is only on the front side of the leader. And then on the Awakened side, they typically change or have a unique ability and whatnot. Sun Goku is draw one. When the cards, and I think every leader is when your life is 4 or less, you draw one card. Like this is like set 1 Dragon Ball Masters, where it's very simple. Get down to 4, flip over, draw 1 card, you're good to go. But yeah, when attacking, you draw 1 card. When you have Awakened, it's exactly the same thing. When attacking, you draw 1 card, but now you have a permanent only on your turn. But all your battle cards with Universe 7 in their special trait gain plus 5,000 power, making every card a little bit more important, making your opponent have to combo more cards out just to keep them from taking damage. For the second red leader, we have Beerus, which is one of those 15k crit cards. It does have a permanent. This card gets plus 5,000 power during your turn, so it's a 20k crit. And depending on how the deck functions, if you play a deck that can primarily draw you a lot of cards, I don't remember how many draw cards are in red currently because they haven't done the full reveals yet. But if you can survive not having to worry about with a draw leader, 20k crit is still pretty good because even on the Awakened side of most leaders, they're going to be at 20k as well. But once you've Awakened, it just becomes a draw 1/1 attacking and activate main once a turn. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10,000 power for the turn. So you can just kind of snipe a card and then go attack into it if it's a problematic card. Moving over to the blue cards, we have Goku Black, which is also very similar to Beerus. It's a crit leader. Permanent gets a 5k boost as well. And then the 4 or less life, draw 1 card. All the crits are like this, if I recall correctly. I think Cooler's like this as well, where it gets that innately 5k boost, which is kind of nice. But the Awakened side, draw 1 when attacking, but then activate main, place 1 Zamasu from your battle area at the bottom of your deck. During this turn, the next time you use and play a Goku Black from your hand, reduce the cost by 2. It's kind of like one of those, I think a Digimon, it's called memory boosters, but you pay for a card that will later on the road give you an additional, like, energy. But this could be really good. It kind of gives me that vibe of like set 1 Golden Frieza from Masters. I mean, granted, that one's restand 2 energy, which is always better in that case. But in this situation, you remove a Zamasu, you get a rebate. That's what it is. So your Goku Black reduce cost by 2 next time. The next blue card we have is Trunks Future. Very similar to Goku. Draw 1. When this card is 4 or less, you draw 1, flip over. But on the backside, activate main once per turn, choose up to 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less, and return to its owner's hand. It doesn't specify whose battle cards, so you could choose yours or your opponent's in the situation, and that could be a good thing, especially like if you have cards that like on play will do effects. You can bounce that back to your hand, then replay it again to get that effect once more. Going over the green cards, we have Android 17, and then on the Awakened side, Android 17 and Android 18. Similar to Trunks and Goku on the front, but on the back, when you awaken, you have a permanent. If you have 6 or more energy, when this card, when you have 6 or more energy, this card gains 10,000 power only during your turn. So it makes it a 30k leader just innately, which is very nice. And if correct, I haven't seen much wording on it yet, but if you are going second, this is activated on turn 5 as long as you still have that energy marker. And green does have a lot of cards that will just kind of ramp you cards from, I think, the top of your deck as well. So you could get this sooner if by hanging on to that energy marker. Then we got Gohan, very similar to all the other leaders that are draw 1. But then on the Awakened side, activate battle once per turn. Place 1 of your energy in your drop, and this card gets a 15k boost for the battle. This is once per turn, so it can be done during your turn. Once again, green this set, or at least green for Fusion World, looks like to be kind of the ramping deck where it was blue beforehand in Masters. So a lot of cards, like I said, will ramp you energy. You just hang on to that energy, and then you can use Activate Battles to kind of get the nice 15k boost. Next, we have Captain Ginu. And Captain Ginu is actually the oddball here. So it still has the when attacking, you draw 1 card, but now it has the Awaken. When your life is 4 or less, you switch up to one of your energy to active mode, then you flip this card over. Depending on the type of deck it is, I would prefer switching energy to active mode. That way it gives you a little additional energy during your turn, gives you a little, you can further your plays this way. But then on the Awaken side, still when attacking, draw 1 card, but now activate main once per turn for 3 energy. You discard 2 cards from your hand, choose all of your battle cards with Ginu Force and their special traits, and you switch them to active mode. This can be very beneficial because, like, if you are going a certain route where you're keeping the board present, so like if you're keeping your board wide and you get to later in the game and your opponent's not take care of Ginu players' boards, because if you let them swing, say with like 3 battle cards, then pay 3 energy to swing with 3 more battle cards, or the same 3 battle cards again, that's bad. So, but playing this deck, this seems really fun to do, and hopefully it actually is. It is discarding 2 cards in order to get the restand for it, but if you let the board get pretty big, and I know like in previous Ginu decks in the Masters format, Ginus play Ginus. So like you play a Ginu Force card, it plays another Ginu Force card, or at least it searches more to add to your hand. So hopefully we'll have those mechanics as more reveals come through. Next we have Cooler, which is the crit leader in this one. So it has a 5k booster in your turn. Draw 1 card when you awaken. The backside, activate main/battle, which means you can do it during your main phase, you can do it in your battle phase, but it is a different keyword skill if they're using the same jargon from Masters. If a card says, I don't know if they're going to incorporate that as much, but if a card specifies an activate main or an activate battle or an activate main/battle, those are all 3 unique skills, but this one does work both in your main step and your battle step, which means your opponent's turn as well. Discard 1 card from your hand, choose up to one of your battle cards with a cost of 4 or less, and freeze a clan in its special traits, or one of your energy and switch it to active mode. Being able to pitch a card during your opponent's turn, I had to catch myself real quick because there's not a lot of reasons to have energy open during your opponent's turn, but being able to restand energy during your turn by pitching a card is always great, and possibly being able to, say, restand a body you want to keep alive on your board is during your opponent's turn is always good as well. So like say if you swing with a card, you activate Mace's Battle, restand energy to kind of further your plays, but then your opponent kind of swings into that card like, oh no, I don't want that card being there. Cool. If they don't combo up, then you can combo up, activate Main/battle, pitch a card, restand that card, now they can't attack into it again. Keeping it safe. Something else I want to cover is the starter decks. And yes, I've talked about the starter decks already in the idea of the leaders, but I want to talk about their content. Each starter deck comes with a 51 card deck, which is 50 base cards, 1 leader, an energy marker, so if you go second, a play sheet, and a rule manual, and then you get the promotional code for digital versions. You also get those in every pack you open as well, so if you're playing a digital game, keep those codes when you get those packs early on, because I think the digital version doesn't come out until like spring. But what I want to talk about is the bonus packs. So each starter deck has their own version of a bonus pack. Bonus pack for Son Goku, which includes 1 of 7 starter exclusive cards and a full rainbow foil. So it's 1 of 7. From that tells us that there's 28 different types of foiling cards you can get across all the starters. And we know the starter decks have, in Masters, typically you need to buy 2 starter decks to kind of get a playset of those starter unique cards. And from when I'm looking at the starter deck in for Fusion Worlds right now, there are 15 different cards. We know it's a 50 card deck. Some of these cards will probably quantities of 3, some of these quantities of 2. And the rainbows are 1 of 7 cards. So like 1 of 7 of these cards will have that rainbow foiling. So you know you're getting at least 2 different rainbow foilings for every color. So that's 8 total. But if you wanted to go all out, you're going to need to buy multiple starter decks, because even though it's 1 of 7, you can still pull the same card again. And yeah, cool, it might be nice to have 2 of those, but I think I would rather have more of a variety. And so those cards are going to be very interesting to pull. Let's put it that way. At least in my opinion. I think someone who's going for full max rarity of these is going to spend a lot doing that. And I think I'll just be happy for the 2 I pull when I get my starter decks. One more thing another thing we've kind of finally got figured out was that Fusion Worlds is a monocolor game. So at least for set 1, if you're playing a red leader, your cards are red. And if you go second, your energy marker is also red. Your energy marker energy is the same color as whatever your leader is. I think the wording of it is that you discard this card, or you remove this card from your energy, and it's the equivalent of switching an energy and rest mode of the same color as your leader. And then people are like, well, why do specified costs if we're color lock? Down the road, we'll probably be able to do multicolor decks or even having multicolor leaders, and which in Masters was great when we got that initially. And then they kind of just got rid of that almost. Like, we still get multicolored cards from time to time, such as like the new set 23 Zamasu. But I don't think we've seen a multicolored leader in a very long time. And so hopefully in Fusion Worlds, we kind of get that again. But then that kind of restricts, like, if we only say we get a red-yellow leader, you can only make red-yellow decks until we get a red-blue leader or a blue-yellow leader. So, and that might be why it's specific costs. Like, say, for example, the Sun Goku from the starter deck, which is 5 energy, 2 specific costs red. If we get a multicolor leader on red or get the ability to hopefully one day do multicolors, you need the other energy. You need at least 2 red to play this card, obviously. But if you're playing a multicolor deck, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. So that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about for Fusion Worlds. Like I said, it was just the leaders, some of the new mechanics we learned, like monocolor decks. But if it's something you guys do enjoy, I'll bring up more of this content as well. Like I said, they are dropping cards on their Twitter page. So if you're not checking out there, that's where they're dropping them. They drop I think 2 to 3 a day almost. And it's cool. It's cool kind of going over them. It reminds me of the early days of Dragon Ball. But yeah, like I said, if you guys like this content, I'll do more of this. I'm looking forward to play this game. I'm going to print some proxies and see if I can get some people from locals to try it out. Because like I said, no one really seems to be interested at our locals but me. And, sometimes I think playing a game that's different from what you typically do play is a good break. Like I said, I play Lord Connor, I play Digimon from time to time because it's something different. And then I always go back to my local Saturdays. We play our Dragon Ball Super Masters and have fun. And I enjoy those decks I play. But I'm looking forward to seeing what we get for Fusion Worlds, even though, like I said, it is a simplified version of Masters. I'm kind of rambling, so we're going to end that video now. Thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind those buttons, links down below, and have a good day. Bye.